All right. Welcome everyone to Sirantwi Education Channel. Please don't forget to subscribe for me if you have not done so. And thank you to everybody who have done so by subscribing and then supporting this channel. Right. We use these two channels, Sirantwi Education and then Get Simplified. Both channels they have resources that will assist you as grade 12 learner. Right. Tonight we are only going to focus on question and answer session since most of you, most of the provinces will be having their practical paper tomorrow. So tonight we are going to talk about question and answer. Join me if you have any question that you are struggling to do at your various places. Don't forget to drop them in the comment section, and then I'm going to help everybody and then solve your questions for you. Right. I will first check the comment section. So those who have joined, please, you can drop your questions. But before that, I will try to go through um, the concept or the checklist, whether you have done so. So I'll open my checklist and go through them with you. What is expected from you as grade 12 learner before you go to the examination room, what you should know before you get to the examination room. First of all, I will start with Microsoft Word, that's word processing. The first one will be header and then the footer information. That could be page number or it could be the document title. It could also be file path or it could be the date and time, any other information that we can add in the header and footer section. It can also be an image that can be inserted there as a link. Right, document properties, we will look at that also. That is where you can insert the author name in the document properties. You can also insert category. You can insert other properties. Then the cover page, inserting or editing existing cover page, placing an image that is changing a picture, putting the abstract and deleting other controls. References, here we are talking about table of content, table of figures, index, caption, also inserting the citations and then other referencing options. Then the page setup, the margins, the paper size, the orientation, changing the orientation also. Then citation and then source manager, editing the source or editing citation or adding citations to your document. Paragraph settings. Here we are talking about paragraph and line spacing, indentation, keep lines together. That is the advanced paragraph settings, or keep with next. So we use keep with next and keep lines together to make sure that the headings and then the paragraphs are always together. They are not separated. Then bookmark and hyperlink, and then also cross-referencing. Cross-reference. Right. So the cross-reference is mostly linked to a figure, or it could be bullet linking to a table and others, whilst the bookmark can go to any target location. Then creating and modifying files. You can be given a file to modify or to create a new file. Then font style or font effect, and then the character spacing. We will look at that also. If you don't know the font effect, character spacing, which is the only spacing that is not part of the paragraph. It is part of the font group. You need to go to the font group before you can see that. Then the columns, inserting column breaks, and then also placing them into maybe 3 or 4 columns and inserting column breaks so that certain headings can be on top of each column. End note and then footnote, page numbering, formatting them odd and even, excluding, let's say, page 1 and 2. That is breaking, using section break, starting on a specific page. Watermark, the normal watermark, the text watermark, watermark on a specific page. Placing watermark on a specific page also. Then page background color, changing the background color. It could be texture, gradient fill, and others. Then image manipulations, whereby you can crop image to shape or changing the size of the image and other things, or alternative text. Changing the indentation, left indent or right indent using the ruler settings, and again also using the tab stop indentation. Also you can have the tab stop, having tab stop, putting together, and then also adding images. So in most cases, the tab stop and indent can be put as one question, and then they will also add an image and put a border around it. Then inserting a field or object as an icon, creating and modifying form using developer, find and replace special, whether you are doing find and replace with a style, find and replace n m dash with n dash and other special ones, or find and replace with an image or symbol, whereby you use find and replace. You find a text and then you replace with a symbol or an image. Then hyphenation, mail merge, table manipulations, smart art and shapes, word art, drop cap, quick path, review, which is track changes, and multi-level list or the normal list, bullet and numbering. Right, basically this is what constitutes Microsoft Word, which is mostly 50 marks. Microsoft Word, the total mark plus or minus 50 marks, plus or minus 50 marks, which start from my question 1, question 2, and then question 7. And in most cases, question 7 will be mail merge and then developer questions. Right, so that's all about Word. Then spreadsheet, what is expected for spreadsheet? Spreadsheet also, the total mark is also plus or minus 50 altogether, plus or minus 50. And that is question 3, 4, and 7 also. First one is the sheet tab, sheet management, renaming sheet, changing the tab color, moving sheet, protecting sheet, and then merge and center the heading, applying the shading, gradient fill, and then the normal shading or the pattern style, changing the row height and column width, and then also the orientation, changing the orientation of the text, freeze paint to keep the heading visible, and then autofill also, data validation, which involves the validation rule or the lookup. So validation and lookup. Then the count ifs. From there, then they jump mostly to count ifs, sum ifs, average, and other questions. Also, we will look at that. The lookup calculations, whether X lookup with the newer version or the V lookup, the older one, or H lookup. Then also concatenate with a text function. That is combination of text functions, left, right, mid, and then using concatenate or concat or the end. And then conditional formatting. In most cases for conditional formatting grade, sorry, grade 12 conditional formatting, it could be the formula one, the formula conditional formatting, or the color scale, or other type of conditional formatting. Then the subtotal with grouping, average, calculating the normal average, and then you round it up or round down or truncate it or setting it as an integer, nested if, or if together with logical functions like and function, or function, XOR, and then not. Then also creating a chart graph or combo graphs, different graphs or editing graphs, and then date and time calculations, whereby you'll be given questions to create a year or the hour or create a specific time or a specific date. So basically this constitutes a spreadsheet whereby they pick questions and sometimes also the normal calculations. That is the calculations like the VAT inclusive or discount or percentage. In some instances, you get questions also like that. All right, so this is the outline, or I must say the structure of the spreadsheet. Then also the database. Database questions are always from table, form, query, and then report. And when it comes to table, modifying field properties or data sheet view. Data sheet view whereby you can change formatting with the background colors and others. Then lookup, like the combo box, validation rule, input mask, calculated field also, and then required. Then the forms, you can be given a question to edit a form. And then regarding editing a form, maybe putting an image, inserting text, adding calculations in the footer or header, and then action button, validation rule, and input mask also can be there. And then the query, 3 queries are always asked, 3 different forms of queries. First one, you can create a query with criteria or modify queries by choosing the fields and then sorting with the criteria, or aggregate functions and then also calculated fields. So this is how they ask the queries. And then the report structure, whether you can create a report or you group a report. Then you group report with the grouping options. Then sorting records, adding calculated field, and also adding the appropriate labels. Here also regarding the report, validation rule, and then validation text or input mask, also they can ask that question. Then also change it to combo box, and then also conditional formatting. Right. So the calculations also in groups. That is all about database. Then regarding the HTML, which is mostly 15 marks, the structure HTML 15 marks. Then the database total is 35 marks. And then like spreadsheet, I said plus or minus 50. So all in all, 150. Word processing, I always say you must not spend at most 1 hour. When you know that you are spending more than 1 hour in Word, that means you have to skip to other question. Then also spreadsheet 1 hour. Database at least 40 minutes. And then HTML at least 20 minutes. So that is the way you must tackle these questions. Please, if there's a question that's giving problem, don't waste time there, move to the next question. Now, so this is all this is the structure of the question. Now, I'm going to start with Word. So if you have any question regarding Word, don't forget to ask, then I will tackle it. I will check the comment section. When I'm done with Word, then I'll move straight to spreadsheet. So write down your questions that you can ask me. All these topics, I've treated them, I've talked about them in separate videos in the channel also. So today we are only going to solve different questions. Right. So if you have any question, you can drop your questions there. So you must let me know if you are struggling with the live session. Comment, you should let me know. But straight away, I'm going to start going through each and every aspect. I will not spend much time. So I'm going to pick the Microsoft Word. So join me. You can join me by using the Microsoft Word document, which you can find it. I will share it also. Like I always say, I share this drive with my grade 12 learners. Everyone, they say pass grade 12 papers. When you go there, you see various like database, HTML. This was the paper that I said. Microsoft Word, Excel, the June paper, the one that they wrote. This was the June paper, the one that they wrote. If you open it, also paper one and paper two is there. Then paper one, there's a backup paper, and then I have all of them. You can just use it tonight. Um, then again, the June paper that I said is also there, and the one for this term, also the one that I said is also here. So you can go through each of them. If you want DBE papers, previous question papers, you go the national papers and different prelim papers. You see them here. Different prelim papers, you get them for each year. DBE papers also, you get them here. So you have a lot of papers at your disposal that you can try and use them tonight. Now, I'm going to focus on the Word, the one that I structured them. So this is the Microsoft Word one, which you can go through all of them. So I want to just open one social network, and then I'll go through all them. I will summarize what you should know regarding the Microsoft Word. Right. I'll first start with the basics. Like I said, the font. Now, let's say what is social media. I want to change this font. Now, when you go to the font group, we have the font effect, and then we have the small caps hidden. They can even ask you to hide a text. That's the hidden. Small caps, all caps, strike through. Check that aspect. If you don't know where to get the font, again, when you search, you type, tell me what to do, font. Like I've been saying, make effective use of tell me what to do tomorrow or when you're writing practical. Now the font, you can change different font style, small caps or all caps. And then the text effect. Watch out for this. They normally add this type of question, text effect. So with the text effect, we have the text fill and outline. With the text fill and then outline. Then we also have text effect like the shadow, 3D format. They can ask you to change the 3D format also. Watch out for that type of questions. Right. And then when you go to advanced, that is where we have the character spacing. The character spacing, the scale, and it could be expanded or condensed by a certain PT. And then we also have position. Watch out for this, raised or lowered by a certain PT also. So that is all about font. Watch out for those things. As for the changing the font name and others, it's easier. Then again, um, the paragraph settings. Regarding the paragraph, you can click here or you go to the paragraph settings. Like I said, the paragraph settings, we have the normal indentation, the spacing before and after, and then the line spacing. The line spacing, whereby we have the double, at least, exactly, multiple. They can tell you to change the line spacing at least by a certain PT. This is where you'll find it. Then also we have the line and page break. This is where we find the keep lines together, the one that I was talking about here. Um, this one, keep lines together or keep with next. This part, you get them. You get them here. Keep with next and keep lines together. They can ask you a question whereby they say a feature so that the text and then the heading should always be together. So if I want this text and this one to be together, I go to paragraph settings and then I take keep with next and keep lines together. If they want you to put it to the next page, this one, then you choose the feature called page break before. If I take page break before and OK, it's going to create a page break before. That's the feature for that. Instead of you to put the normal page break. Right. So that is all about the paragraph settings that you must know. And then we also talk about um, the ruler settings. Now, with this particular paragraph, you can be given a question whereby you need to change the indentation. Now, if I want to change this one to first line indent, you click inside the paragraph. The first line indent is the one on top on your ruler settings. You drag it, let's say to 2 centimeters. Now, if they say the right indent also to be at 2 centimeter, so 1, 2, let's say here, but let's say it should be on 14 centimeter. So check if they give a screenshot, please make use of the ruler settings instead of you to go to the paragraph and then you change it here. Don't change it here. You must use the ruler settings, please. It's easier. And then again, we also have hanging indent. Hanging indent is the one on top here. This is the hanging indent to 2 centimeters. Then we have what you call the left indent. Left indent is the one at the bottom one. It moves both top and down. That's the left indent. So watch out for some of these questions. They like that question. Don't go through the long process and that. Then with this, they can ask you to insert an image so that you put all of them together. Let's say with this, I want to insert an image. Insert a picture. Now, when I insert this picture, don't forget with pictures, click on the layout options and then you choose square or tight so that you can move the picture around. So let's say this picture, they want us to crop it to shape. You go to crop. When you select a picture, you see picture format. You can crop it to a specific shape. They can also give you fitting it and then also changing the size. When you click on the size, you must make sure that you take log aspect ratio. Log aspect ratio must be removed so that you can change it to the exact size. Right. Then you must also watch out for position. The absolute position, they can ask you that type of question. The absolute position by a certain centimeters, and then to the left or to the left margin or character or inside margin. They can ask you this type of question. These are some of the new things that they normally ask. Absolute position vertical and absolute position horizontal. They can ask that type of question. Right. And then again, the alternative text, they can ask that type of question. Watch out for image, picture border, and picture effect, and then a picture layout. So that's about the images. Removing background colors, compressing. Then when you have an image like this, remember I told you must change this one to be able to move it, change it to this tight or square. Now, what if we want to put a border around this? You go to insert shapes and then you can choose a rectangle or you can choose the text box. Then you can draw it. Now, when you draw this, it covers the text and the images. So what you need to do is you need to change the layout option to behind text so that this text box will be behind and this one will be there. And then you can now change, let's say if they want the border of it, the shape outline, the weight to 3pt. They can ask you that type of question also. So you must watch this type of questions whereby they put a border and then they can also put the paragraphs. Right. Then we also have changing the margins. Now, if they wanted to change the margin or the page size, you can use the ruler setting, double click. You can change the margin with a gutter position and then the gutter in centimeters, top left or bottom or right, changing the orientation to landscape, the paper size, and then the layout, vertical alignment. I want you to take note of this. Vertical alignment. They can tell you to center the text vertically on the page. That is part of the page setup under vertical alignment. Then we also have line numbers. If they ask for line numbers, you can get it under page setup. You see line numbers if you want to add them or border. But I don't want you to worry yourself. If they ask line numbers, go to tell me what to do, type line numbers. It will show you here continuous or that. Now, if they're asking for border, make use of it. So tomorrow, make use of tell me what to do or the search. You are allowed to do that. Is the help thing. That's the very shortcut way of doing it so that it takes you there. Right. Now, that is all about the page setup. Then I want to move straight to another interesting aspect, which is the column. Let's say I want to place all this into columns, 3 columns. So when you select, can you tell me what to do and say column? Add or remove column, and then you go to more column. or columns, you can find it under layout. So let's say here, I want to place them into 3 columns. So I will choose 3 with a line between. They can ask you to also change the width and then the spacing. Now, if they say each of them must be on top, like you see here, they are on top of each, but you must still place what we call the column break. So I click before TikTok, I go to layout, break, column. So TikTok will be on top there. Then I go to this one, layout, break, column. So that it will also be on top of each other. So that's how we do columns and then the column break. Right. Now, I'm moving straight to multi-level list. Please, when I'm done covering the word, you drop your question. If there's something you don't understand, then I move straight to spreadsheet. I will try to touch every topic, and this video will be available also so that everybody can watch again and practice. Now, multi-level list. I will take this list as an example. Now, when you are doing multi-level list, when you select, at the home tab, you will see multi-level list here. And then you choose define new multi-level list. But if you don't know where to find it, exam fever, or you don't know where to get it, again, go there, multi-level list, the keyword, define new multi-level list. Now, let's say the first one, we want to take a picture as the first level. You click on the first level, number style for this level. You go there. If you want to use a picture, you go to new picture. They can even ask you to use another bullet. So new picture. Then you select your picture from file. Let's say I want to use this picture. And then you go to second level. And then let's say the second level, we want to choose numbering style, like let's say 0102, or check all the first, second, third. They can add some of these funny levels. And then they want it to be in bracket. Then you change it here. Enter formatting for number. That's where you put a bracket. They can ask you to change the positions. So watch out for that. And then you click OK. So by default, it gives me the first level. Now, if I want this to be the second level, I select them. I can use this one, increase indent, or I can press the tab key. So this increase indent and decrease indent can also be used. Decrease indent to go back, increase indent to go to the next one. Right, so they can also give you multi-level list like this together with the paragraph setting. So you must always check. Right, so this is all about multi-level listing. Then I move straight to another interesting topic, which is watermark. Now, before watermark, I'll move straight to, I'll do the page background. Now, regarding page background, you go to design and then you see page color. Now you can choose the normal colors, or you go to fill effect, this one. And I think you know this fill effect more often, even in spreadsheet, fill effect. Then we have the gradient fill. I can change it. We have the preset. There are some nice preset colors. which is already there. And the preset you can choose from corner of diagonal down or vertical. Or they can give you a question about two colors, whereby they will ask you to choose two color combination. As the page color. Then again, regarding the page color, another fill effect, they can also ask the texture. There are different texture names. Like this one is sand, this one is brown marble, this one is green marble, this one is stationary. We have oak and others, so they can ask you to change it. We also have the pattern style, different pattern colors with the names. Or they can ask you to choose a specific picture as a background color. Right, so watch out for some of these type of questions regarding the page color. Right, so let me choose one of the preset. Right, now, so that's how we change the page colors. Let me undo it. Now let me move straight to another interesting question also, which is watermark on a specific page or watermark with a symbol. So I'm going to start with the watermark with a symbol. Also, you watch out for that. Let's say we want to insert a certain symbol as watermark, but it should be on a specific page. So I want the watermark. I go to watermark from design, or you can use the search watermark. But before you do the watermark, you must first insert the symbol. So let's say I want to insert a symbol. Insert symbol, and then I choose the symbol name. Let's say I want this one to be our watermark. Then you select that symbol, you cut it. It could also be a picture as a watermark. Now, when you cut it, you go to watermark, custom watermark. Now, where is it text watermark? You select text watermark. And then where we have the text, you delete it ASAP, and then you paste your watermark. Now, when you paste it, don't forget, you must choose the font, the same symbol name, whether Webdins or Wingdins. And then they will ask you questions to change the size. If the right size is not here, you can type it, let's say 350. And then the color. So that watermark is inserted on all the pages. But if the question said the watermark should only be on the last page, and this one, I will take this opportunity to also explain. They can ask you to insert the header only on the last page. Now, it means we need to separate this last page from the rest of the pages. So to do that, we have to insert the page before the last page. We must insert what we call the break, continuous section break, or next page. So we go to break from layout, continuous, or we can even get it here. It's a break. Then you see section break, and then you choose continuous. Now, as soon as you insert the continuous section break, we have to delink, in other words, separate the last page from the rest of the pages. So we double click on the header section, click link to previous, you must remove it. You can see here it says header section 4. Here is section 3. So we have to separate section 4 from section 3. you must remove link to previous. And then you go to the footer also, remove link to previous. So both the footer and the header must be removed. Then in order to delete your watermark, you must make sure that you have opened the header and footer. Go and put a mouse pointer on this side. You click, it will select for you, delete. Press the delete key. So all the pages are deleted. Let's go and check the last page. It is there. So if you don't apply this section break and you remove the link to previous, it's not going to work. So now here we can only make this side only to also be landscape by going to layout, orientation, landscape. So the landscape, making one side to be landscape and others, it still follow the same steps. You have to put section break and then you remove that link to previous before. So you can see we made only here to be landscape. Again, we can insert page number only on this page. The moment you remove the link to previous, you can now insert page number only. So we can just go to header and footer, page number, bottom. So here page 4, there's nothing there on all other pages. Now if they say only number this one to be page 1, now you now go to page number again, format page numbers, start at 1. So that here will only be page 1. The rest of the pages are not numbered. So you must make sure that you put this section break. That is the most difficult aspect in Microsoft Word. The section break, watermark on a specific page, and some aspect the table, and then also find and replace, which we are going to also look at that. Right. I will take another document to also talk about other questions. So here I've talked about some of these topics: watermark, background, the image, tab stop. I will talk about tab stop, and then the icon and developer. Now, I will take another file. Let's say 1 key point. Now, let's say this 1 key point, I want to insert on the header section an image or field. So when I double click on the header section, you will see time and date, document info like file path, or document info. Let me remove this review. Document info like file path. You can also see document properties like author, category, and others. These are all the properties. They can ask you to insert any of them there. Right. They can also ask you to insert a picture or a field. A field like the number of words, num words, and then to give you in a header or in a document. Right. So that is how we insert. They can also ask you to change the header position and then the footer position also. They can add that type of question. So watch out for that type of questions. Again, if they ask you to insert maybe file path only on a specific page, you must put a section break. Then we go to cover pages and document info. Now I want to open a new page. Let's say page 1 to insert a cover page. There are different cover pages. So they can ask you to insert cover page and change the abstract and other things here. Or change the picture. You right click and choose change picture. Then you select the picture that you want to change it to. Right. And they can also ask you to insert date picker. Like a date picker you find from developer. Let's say date picker here, not on the cover page. Or anywhere, you will see date picker. Here, date picker, like a calendar. So that you can select the date. This is the date picker. And again, questions regarding document info, file info. Then these are the document properties. So if they ask you to change the category or the comment, you go there, or the author, the last save. If you don't find that document property, you go to show all properties. Then you can see other properties here. So that is where we click to change the properties under this aspect, document properties. Now we talk about cover page, the header information. Now page setup, citation. Let's look at citation as well. To add citation or the source, if it is already there, or to modify. Let's say we are adding a source. You go to tell me what to do, type source manager, or you can get it from references, and then you go to new source. So that is where we add the source, like the website or a book section or report. Now, let's say we have this source already inserted. So you can get it under citation, references, insert citation. Now, this citation, we can edit the citation. You click there, then you see edit citation. Let's say it should include page 4 or page 5, and you shouldn't include the title. You go there so that the title will not show. Right, so that is all about citation and managing the source. Then again, footnote, endnote, those are the basic stuff. You go to references, footnote, endnote. I know everyone is waiting for this. Table of content is also used. They tell me what to do, then you get there. I know everyone is looking for the tab stop and also find and replace special. Tab stop, find and replace special, mail merge, and then the tables. Basically, those are the ones. But if you have a question, please don't forget to add your questions also. I can see that some of you are having problem with the inserting your questions. So if you have problem to type your question, then let me know. Then we can put it in the WhatsApp group. I will address it also. Right. Now, what about page numbers? Let's say we want to insert page numbers, but then we will start the page numbers from page 3, from here. So like I told you, we have to separate this page from the page 1 and 2. So we go to 5 reasons. Before it, then we go to layout, breaks, then we choose continuous. Now, the moment you do that, double click on the header. Now we see here section 1. That means they are all the same. They are all section 1. So you have to check that they are not having the same section. let's take another question, another data file. One carnival. So let's say I want to start numbering from this page. From this page. So I click before it, layout, breaks, continuous. As soon as you do that, double click on the header, remove this link to previous. You need to remove it. And then the footer section also remove link to previous. Both the footer and then the header must be removed. Then after that, you can see here, footer section 1. Here is also section 2. That means we have separated these two pages. And then I can go to my footer here and then insert page number, bottom. Then I choose the type of page number the question wants me to select. Now, when I select, it gives me page 2. Meanwhile, they said it must start numbering from page 1. So I still go there, still under the header and footer. Page numbers, format page number, start at 1. So that here will start from 1. And then this side will be 2. Then the first page, this side does not have any page number. So that's how we change the page numbers. Now, if they say the odd number should be to the left, even number should be to the right, you just take different odd and even. Different odd and even. So here is odd number. You select to be to the left. Go to home, and then under the alignment, change it to left. And then you will see the moment you take different odd and even, you don't see anything on the even number. So you just have to go and select bottom any page. And if you want to put this one to the right, you select to the right. So the odd even numbers to the right, odd numbers to the left. So that's how we change page numbers to the left and then the even numbers to the right. And then also the section break. Right. So this is all about the page numbers, how to number them. Then I'll move quickly to find and replace with an image. Let's say we have image or a symbol already there. That's a special. Insert a symbol. Let's say they gave us a symbol that we must replace. Now, when they say find all the occurrences of the word Cape Town and then replace with this symbol, you first have to insert the symbol. You select, right click, and then cut the symbol. Then you go to find and replace by typing replace. So what are we finding? Cape Town. Then you go to replace with. You don't just paste it. You go to more, special, and then you see clipboard content. It's going to paste whatever that you have cut. That's why we use clipboard content, and then you say replace all. So we got 15 replacement. All Cape Town has been replaced with that symbol. So that's how we do find and replace with a symbol or with an image. Right. Now, what about find and replace with an existing font? Let's say we want to replace Western Cape. Western Cape. With, we want to replace Western Cape with a style. So you go to replace with more, then you go to format. Watch out for this format. It can be font. They can tell you to change the font of that Western Cape, or paragraph, text, style, highlight with a color. Now, if they say highlight with maybe a certain color, don't forget to change the color first. So the style, let's say we are changing it to carnival style or carnival character, and then replace all. So now all the Western Cape has been replaced with that carnival character style. You can see Western Cape replaced with that style. Right. There's a carnival style and carnival character style. So the character style will be only for that Western Cape. So that's how we do the find and replace. And then also they can say all the M dashes with the N dashes. Find what? You go to special. We have any digit. They can say replace with any digit, or column breaks, or footnote mark. Watch out for all this. Non-breaking space with a normal space. Non-breaking space with a normal space. Or non-breaking space with a paragraph mark. Replace all. We got 34 replacements. So all the non-breaking space has been highlighted, changed to a paragraph mark. Right. So that's how we do find and replace. Please take note of that also. That is also another challenging question to most learners. Right. Then hyphenation, you tell me what to do. And then the calculations also in the table. Then I'm going to move straight to spreadsheet. Spreadsheet and database, we will just pick one or two aspects. Word contains a lot of marks. That is why we are taking a lot of time on Microsoft Word. Now, let me choose one COVID for this lesson. Regarding one COVID, table of content, how to insert it. Like I told you, go to references and then you change it. Now, this one COVID, I want to use that one and deal with the tab stop. I don't think we have the tab stop question here. Let me look for something that I can get tab stop question. Okay, let's take this one. Let's say we want to arrange this with a tab stop. So when you select them, if we want to place them to maybe 6 centimeters, go to the ruler settings just before 6, below 8. Don't click in the middle. If you double click in the middle, it's going to give you page setup. So you double click at the bottom there. It gives you the tab stop. Now we have left, right, center, and others, or also a bar. You set it. Then we can now move this to next to the bar or behind it. You press the tab stop to arrange them properly. So this is how we deal with the tab stop. Always, sometimes they can give you a screenshot. Check here. If it's a straight line, that means it's a bar. If the tab stop is, let's say, L, that means the left tab stop. So when I press tab, it will go to that one. Maybe to 13, it goes there. And if it is L that has changed, it is also right tab stop. So use this to do tab stop. Those tricks, just go to the position, double click at the bottom. It's going to open for you the tab stop. Then you select which one that you want to set. Then you click on apply. You can also set the leader lines also. Right. And then regarding table, when you are dealing with table, let's say I have a table here. Now the table with the shading, like I said, if you want to fill, and then the table layout, watch out for the direction, cell margin, sorting, calculation, repeat header row, and then the table formula. Yeah. So yeah, if you want the cell margin, you go there, cell margin, let's say to 1 centimeter. And if we are to do calculations, you go to formula, and then you put maybe some above or average above. You go to the function, maybe average, then you type inside above. So that it's going to calculate all the averages above this. Check the direction also. Whenever you click on the table, it will give you table design and table layout. So when you select the table, the design, if you want to apply a color, the line around it, choose the line, and whether you want the outer, that's the outside one. If you want the inner, then you also select it. So basically, this is all about tables that you must know. Look at the shading, the table layout, all these auto fit to content, auto fit to window. Make use of them, split table, split cells, add column, and then add rows also. And lastly, we are going to focus on mail merge, and then also we look at forms. Then we move straight to spreadsheet. I will pick the 7 questions. Like I said, mostly those questions are question 7. Let's say 7 access card. Now, whenever you are dealing with mail merge, the first step is to go to mailings, start mail merge, and then you choose letters or envelope, depending on what the question wants you to choose. So let's say we chose letter. After that, you move straight to select recipient list, use an existing list. Then you go and select the list. Let's say we want to select the list from 7 prospect. And then you go to edit recipient list. They can ask you to maybe only show those whose amount is more than 300, and then prestige is yes. So you go to filter, field is amount greater than 300. Then end prestige is equals to yes. So we got this, those that are yes, and then also greater than 300. After that, you click OK. They can also ask you to sort. Now, all the less than and greater than, you have to replace them. This one. You select insert merge field name. You select this, insert merge field surname. If they want ID number also, you change it. Right, when you are done, after changing the merge field, you must save it. Don't forget, you have to save before you go to finish and merge and edit individual list. Then OK. Now it will give you those letters to all of them. Then this one, you need to save it. File, save as. Don't forget to save it in your exam folder. Then you give the name. Normally they will say maybe 7 merge or 7 what. Please, that's how we do mail merge. Lastly, we are going to look at form. Developer. Let's say we have name. When you go to developer, you see form control, legacy tool, text. Now, if you double click and it is a regular text, they will give you the number of length, let's say 25, and then the text form, whether it should be first capital or uppercase. Then again, let's say I have date. Date is also text form. You double click, and the date should be, it could be current date or current time or just date. And then the format, if the format is not here, you can type it. Let's say I want the format to be dd slash YYY dash MMM dash DDDD. They can give you the format. Now look at it. Monday, everything written in full like that. That's the current date. Also, let's say fee. That is an amount. So a fee should be a number, and then the number format, you choose R with decimal place, or you can type only R over there. Now, if let's say the question wants us to calculate VAT of that amount, we use calculated. So this one will be calculated or calculations. But take note here, you must check the fee, the bookmark name. In a form, we use the bookmark name to do calculation. So here the bookmark name is text3. You double click and then you choose calculation, 15%, 15 over 100 times text3. So if I double click here and I type, let's say 20,000 in the default, this one is going to calculate the 15% for me automatically. So that's how we do calculations in a form. Remember, we use what? Calculations. They can also give you maybe list. Let's say we have a list, and then the list, we are going to do some list. Now with that one, we use what we call drop down. Let's say we have different lists, like name, you press enter, age, maybe the list that is given to you, you type each of them and then you choose enter. So this is all about the developer control form. Now, I think that is all about Microsoft Word. We have done a lot. As for the shape and others, you can watch other videos, track changes also. You just go to review and then you see track changes and comment whether to delete, and then comparing different one or combining, you see them also. If you don't know where to find that thing, don't forget to use tell me what to do to go there. Right. Now let's move straight away to there's one question that I also, if you want to send something as a field, let's say 5 history as a field, you drag it and then you drop it. It will be there as a field, so that when you double click, it will open it as a link. You can just use the drag and drop, and then you'll be able to do that. And I think that is all about Word. Let's move straight to spreadsheet. If there's no question, let me check here. If there's no question, I'll move straight to spreadsheet. I think the comment section. Sorry for that. I was not seeing the comments. I'm so sorry for that. I've seen a lot of comments here. Calculator failed again as I did not understand. Okay, I will talk about that. If function, building blocks, the scope of the September examination. I've given the scope or the outline already, the one that I shared. How does one change the text of watermark to a word art? Yeah, in Word, that is the word art to be a watermark. Whereby you have a watermark, that's the text one. So that one you need to choose that text and then you type it there. Mail merge, we did that developer. Watermark on one page only. How do you remove a page color? Yeah, that one, background color, you go to the same place. To remove background color, you just go to design, page color, then you choose no color to remove the background color. And again, text watermark to a word art. And how do you change the shape of a watermark? I saw this question in a September 2023 paper. Can you just show me which question is that so that I have all the questions, then I can go there. Um, if you have that question, you can show me. For the watermark, mostly the one that I showed you, we use either a symbol watermark or a text watermark or an image. Somebody said the database, yes, we do that lookup, nested if. Yeah, I've gotten your questions. So those ones, I'll go straight to them. Drop your questions so that I'll only focus on those questions. So I can see that spreadsheet, most people are talking about nested if and then also lookup. So join me, let's go to the spreadsheet questions. We can use the spreadsheet questions also. The one that says Excel files. Live videos, you will see the questions. So now the spreadsheet, most of you are talking about lookup. I'll do one lookup. I will do nested if one. And then if the text function, then database will go there also. Now the text, the if statement, I'm going to focus on let's say for transport. I'll do 2 or 3 questions here. For transport. So here is for transport. Now, according to this question, it says, open the for transport spreadsheet and work in the mode worksheet. Insert a nested if function in cell N10 to N13 to classify the respective age group according to their willingness to pay higher price for cars. Less than 60% must be classified as reluctant. Between 60 and then 70 classified as cautious. 70% and over willing. So there are 3 conditions here. There are 3 conditions. The first one, and this is the other one. Now, when you have the 3 conditions like this, I will tell you to always skip the one in the middle. Skip this one. Why am I saying so? Because this one is between 60 and 70, which is difficult to get that aspect. When you have 3 conditions, meaning you need 2 if statements. Now, we will ignore this and then we focus on the first and then the last because they are easy, less than 60, and then greater or higher than what? 70. Those two are easier. This one, if you want to easily get it, you can use between. Right. So when you have three like this, it becomes easier for us to deal with this question. So I'm going to pick the first one. So equal sign, if double click on this fx, click on that fx again. Now it says logical text. This question, we are comparing willing to pay higher. This one, column G. That's what the question says in column G. So if, like I said, we stick to the first one, when it's less than 60. So if G10 less than 60%, remember this is percentage. So you can say less than 60, less than 60%. Then the value if true, the question says it should be reluctant. Value if false, you open another if statement, open bracket. If you don't open bracket, it's going to give you an error message because it's another function, so you must open a bracket. Now go to the formula bar, you will see that bracket that you have opened, closing for you here. Click inside it. It's going to give its own function argument, the second one. Then you start again, G10. This time we are going to the last condition here, which is 70 or higher. So G10 greater than or equals to 70%. Here, 70 or higher, that means 70 is included. And then value if true will be willing. Then the last part will be for the condition for this one in the middle. We don't have to open another if because there are only three conditions. So meaning we are going to use only two if. Then we type cautious there under the value if false. Then okay. It will give you a warning. They say yes. There we go. So this is all about that nested if. Now I will do the second nested if. This one is for activity. There are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 conditions. There are 5 conditions. So meaning we are going to do 4 if statement. 4 if statement. So I'll open for activity. Now, the question says, if it is platinum, we must put 10,000. If it is gold, we must put 8,000. If it is silver, we must put 5,000. If it is bronze, we must put 3,000. If it is no metal, we must put dash. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 conditions, meaning we will use only 4 if statement. So you follow the same steps. To do that, equal sign if, double click on fx, and then you click on this fx from the formula bar. Logical text, we are comparing this one. You click there. If I10 equals to, please don't say gold because we are using the one in the table. The first one, platinum. So if I10 is equals to platinum, then we must put 10,000. Val if false, you go to the next if with open bracket. This time we are going to the one for gold. So if when you open bracket, go to the formula bar, you will see open and close bracket. Click there again. It's going to give you the one for gold. So if I10 again equals to gold, then we must put what we call 8,000. Then vel if false, you open another if with open bracket. Go there to the formula bar, click inside. It will give the next one for you. Like you repeat them. I10 equals to silver. Then we must put 5,000. And then the vel if false, open if again with a bracket. Go to the formula bar, click there. Logical text again, I10 equals to bronze. Don't forget to always put them in inverted comma. Vel if true will be 3,000. Now, they were 5, so we will need only 4 if. We have the first if for platinum, the second if for gold, the third if for silver, the fourth if for bronze. So the last one, we don't put another if, we just say dash. That is the one for no medal, we put dash. And then you click OK. It's going to prompt you to put that one, then you say yes. Right. So basically, this is how we do this type of nested if. After every condition, there is a statement. After every condition, there's a statement. If you want to put them like this, it will take time. If you are not careful, you might make a mistake. Use this method and then your work will be easier. Right. Now, the last part of the nested if, that is where we are comparing two columns. This one, for income, for 6 marks. For income for 6 marks. That means it needs more than one condition before you can put one statement. So let's open, join me, then we open for income. Right. Now the question says, insert a function in cell G5 to display the word qualified only if the income for an employee is more than 20,000 in column E and is also more than 60 years in column F. Otherwise, the cell must be left blank. So this question here, we are comparing two columns. This first column and that second column. Unlike the first one that we were comparing only one column. So this one here, we have to use another way. That's that nested if. Now, when you see this, check the question. They are using and. They said and. They are combining these two conditions. Sometimes you see or. If they are using or, that means you are going to use the or function also. So this question, I can use and function to combine the condition in the building block. So I'm going to use the and function in the building block. So I will just say equal sign and. You click on FX. Then I'm going to combine the conditions. First one, the income, which is E5, must be greater than 20,000. Then the second logical text is the age, F5, must be greater than 60. That is what the condition says. 60 years more, and then the income must be more than 20,000. So when you are done, you click OK. There can be or also. Now, this one has true or false. After that, you can now come and put your answer here. Equal sign if. Click on FX. the logical text, we are using the one in the building block. If this one is equals to true, why are we saying true but not false? Because the conditions say both must be met. So we always say if it is equal to true, then the value if true should be, what's the statement there? Qualified. Otherwise, we leave it empty, meaning you press the space bar. You come and click here. Okay. So this one is empty because it is false. If I drag down, this is qualified because it is true here. So when you have this type of question, break it down in the building block, then you can easily use that nested if to do that. Right. We could have also achieved that same question. Let's look at trace survey to solve that question. The learners were asked to list the social media they use frequently. Those who listed WhatsApp first and Facebook second are old users, and others are new users. Good. So we are open three survey. Um, Let me see three survey. Yeah, here is it. Now, this question is very interesting. They said those who used Facebook first, those who listed WhatsApp first and Facebook second. Now let's look at WhatsApp. The first, those who chose WhatsApp to be first, and then the second is Facebook. Then we say they are new users. Otherwise, they are old users. So we can use the building block to also do that. So we use the AND function, equal sign AND. The logical text, when the column under the first user, this one, column G is equals to WhatsApp, and the second one is when the column H is equals to Facebook. Let's check again. WhatsApp first and second is Facebook. So it gives us false and true. Then after that, we can now use our function to type it here. Equal sign if, click on FX. Logical text, you use this one. If W5 is equal to yes, true, please don't put the true or false in inverted comma. Then we say old user, otherwise new user. There we go. Then we get our answers right. Good. So that's all about nested if. Now, let's check another question. Okay, look up. All right, this one says Northwest combine four pictures. All right, I will look at that. And then you check, I will check that Northwest. Also, database calculations on database report and form. We will do that also. Right, now let's do the lookup. Somebody asked for lookup. Please, you must remind me of the spreadsheet again, the one that you want, the building block, I talk about it. Now let's use the lookup, the X lookup and then the V lookup. So I'm going to open the lookup questions. You can try your hands also. It's also here. Spreadsheet. It's in the same folder. The lookup questions. Right. Three projects. So I will use the three project to do the lookup. Three project. Right. Now, one thing I want you to know about lookup, the moment you get a question paper, check here. Category. That means there's a table there. We are going to bring them. Now look, sheet one, we want to put them here. We have the number of participant and category. So meaning we are going to bring by using the number of participant, which is column D. And then to display the category, which is here. Now, so this number of participants here becomes the lookup values to display the return values. So I'm going to use VLOOKUP and then I will also use XLOOKUP. Then you decide which one you are choosing depending on the office that you are using at school. Now, to use VLOOKUP, you must first go to the table, select the values. Here, is it V or H? This is H lookup. Why is it H lookup? Because it is horizontal. It is in rows. Now, if you want to see VLOOKUP, it was going to be like this. The VLOOKUP is vertical, like this one. If the table was like this, then it's VLOOKUP. But because the table is horizontal, it is HLOOKUP. So to do that, select only the values. Don't select the heading. Right click, choose define name and give it a name. Why are we giving it a name? We are restricting it. We don't want it to change. So we can give it a name as A, or sometimes I tell learner you can type your name. Nobody can punish you. Type your name. It says categories with a dollar sign. That means you have restricted it. After that, go to the place where you must put your formula, equal sign H lookup. Why H lookup? Because it is horizontal. And then you click on FX. Now it says lookup value, where you are putting the answer on the same row. Here is the number of participants. But then I will first urge you to type the name of the table, which is A. It's going to give you all the data from that table. Now, the lookup value you are taking from the table. Now, it mostly is the first ones here, which is the numbers, which is the number of participants. On the same row, you click on it. Then the column, which column are we taking the values from? Column 2, because it's or the row 2, because it's H lookup. Now, when you click OK, if you drag down, and then the answers are giving you hashtag name, that means you must go back and then you put false. Otherwise, it is true. Now you see if I put false, it's giving me hashtag NA. That means the lookup values or the range lookup should be what? True. Why is it true? Because um when when you see here, these numbers here, it's approximate. This is 68, but when you go to the table, there's no 68. So we must get approximate matches. If it's the exact match, then we choose false. Now, we could have solved the same question by using XLOOKUP. XLOOKUP is very easy, I must say. It is very, very easy. Now, What do you do under X lookup? When you go to the table, instead of you to give the entire table name, you separate them. You separate this row, you right click, define name, and then you give it a name as maybe B. Then you select this also, you right click, define name, you make it a name as D. So you are separating them. The first one is the lookup range, and then the second one is the return range. These are the values we are going to return. When you give them different names, then use equal sign X lookup. Click on FX. Lookup array is the one you gave as B. Return one is the D. And then the lookup value is the same, the one on the same row. If you are not getting the answer, the match mode, you say -1. There we go. So -1 is approximate. So take note of that. Now, X lookup is very easy. It can be used to solve V lookup questions or H lookup questions. Watch out for questions like this, whereby they can even ask you to determine the maximum. Let's say they want you to find the maximum value. Like here, determine the name for those who got the maximum amount here. So you use X lookup. The lookup array, you are looking for this one from this table. The return array, we want to return, let's say, the project name. Then the lookup, let's say the one who got the maximum amount. So we use the max into bracket, the number of participants. Match mode -1. If it's not giving like this one here, doesn't want to give. The one that got the maximum, which is 100, determine the value. Don't forget to always restrict them. You need to restrict these areas. I did not restrict them. So -1. Or you make it to be 1. So I got the hashtag value because I did not restrict it. So they can give you a question of that nature, whereby they said maximum amount, the one who got the maximum value picking from that side. So in this case, it was supposed to give me this name to determine this one. So you must watch out for that type of questions. The X lookup or the V lookup, adding it with the left. It can also add the V lookup with if statement. So watch out. You can also use the building block to determine before you move on. Right. Now, let me check if there's any question regarding spreadsheet. If there's no question, I will move straight to database. If there's no question, like the text function, yeah, HTML will be there. HTML will not spend much time, just a short or a brief one. There is no text functions. I see V, if statement, calculated field. Right. Now, I will come back to when I'm combine functions. Okay, I will check that one. Now, let's quickly move to, as for text functions, I know it's not difficult because you are just use combination of text functions. That one is not, you can watch the videos again regarding the text function that I talk about. You break them down in the building block And then after that, yeah, concatenate. Somebody is talking about that. You break them down, the text functions. Let's say three steps. Now, or let me put another question, three work. I want to use the building block. Let's say this question wants us to determine a code here. Now, you must use the building block to break them step by step. Let's say the first three, you say equal sign left. You click on FX. The text is the same name. How many characters? Let's say 3. You click OK. Then you go again. They say the last two. Equal sign right. FX. The text of the name. How many characters? Let's say 2. And then the question says random numbers between 10 and 20. You say equal sign rand between. The bottom is 10. The top is 20. And they are saying, and also joined by circles. Then you say equal sign. You type that circus in inverted comma. CIRCUS. This is just an example. Now, if we are to combine all this and then make them uppercase or lowercase, we can combine them also in the building block, equal sign. You click on the first one, use the shift and then 7, which is concatenate. Click on the second one, shift 7. Click on the third one, shift plus 7. Click on that one. When you are done, you press enter. The answer will be here. Now, if the question says all of them should be in uppercase, you now go to where you must put the answer, equal sign upper. Double click. You click on FX, then the text, you go and click on your final answer so that everything will be in uppercase. So the concatenate, any question that they give you, solve them step by step in the bullet, in the building block. Then after that, you come and put them here. Right. Now, one other aspect whereby it's more challenging is regarding the text function is when they ask you to, let's say this one here, they want you to remove public from semi. Now, you know, semi-public is separated with a dash. So we have to find the position of dash. So we use find function. So what are we finding? The dash. From where? From this text. So we got it as 5. And then you now use the len function, the total number of characters of this one. Now, after these two answers, you go there and say equal sign, the len value minus the find value. This now becomes the number of characters you are going to use. This one. So we come here and say equal sign. We want only the public, so we will need the right function. The text is this one. How many characters is this answer that we got? Then we got the public. So if you are taking from the right-hand side, when it is within one cell, we need the len, the find function, we need the len, and then you now take out the smaller value from the bigger answer that you got. That will be the new number of characters you are going to use. Right. Now, I think that is all regarding the other topics. You can watch them. Let's move straight to database. You can watch. Yeah, it should be len minus find, not find minus len. It should be len minus find value. Right. Now let's move straight to database questions. And then from there, we wrap up with HTML questions. Then I will let you go, and then you watch the video again. I'll break them down. Then you'll be able to solve some of these questions and the previous videos, like the subtotal and others. You see how it's done. And also, don't forget the data validations and other things also. Right. Let's move straight to database. Also, you open the database files. I see most of you are asking questions about calculations in database. I'm going to do calculations in report, calculations in form, and then calculations in query. So I have database questions. Also, when you open it, you will see the questions there. We have the database query question. We have database table, and then we have database report questions. So I'm going to start with the table question. Then I'll look for one calculation in the table. Right. If there's no calculation, I will do calculations myself. Yeah, here is it. 5 out word is there. So there's a calculation there also. Now the question says, insert a new field called area as the last field and do the following. Good. So we go to this table is called TBL paintings. So you right click and put it in design view. Now the new field is called area. And then that will store calculation of the area of the painting. The area is calculated as height times the width. So the data type, whenever you are doing calculations, you change it to calculated. And then you start doing your questions. You will see the fields here. If it's not there, you can find it under the table. So you say the width, you double click on the width times the height, and then okay. So when we go there, it's going to calculate for us. Now, another way of doing calculation is the text function. Let's say I want to do the text function also here, called code. And then I want to do calculations, calculated. Then the code will be the first 3 characters left, double click on it. So the left of the artist, comma 3, you close the bracket, just like the way you do it in spreadsheet. And you press shift and 7, len. Let's say I want the number of characters, also len. Len of the rating or place. Then you click OK. Or it says it's closing, so I must go and check. Left of the artist, comma 3, you close bracket, and the length of the painting. If it shows you ESPR, you must remove it. Length into bracket, the painting, you close the bracket. So we can use text functions also. It gives us. Now, what if the question says change everything to uppercase? This expression again, you click there. To change to uppercase, we use what we call U case. U case, that's uppercase, and then you close the bracket. L case is lowercase, U case is lowercase, and then so here is uppercase. Right. We can also do calculations in a table like if statement, like comment, calculated. Now, let's say we have the age. So if is double IF, if the age, which is age is greater than 60, so I will say 60 less than age. Do we have age here? Yeah, there. Now, this is how we put in database. Instead of it to say age greater than 60, we type the number first before. So you say age is greater than 60. Then comma, old, comma, otherwise new. So we have the if statement here. Old and new based on the age value that we have there. Right. We can do so many calculations. So that's how we do calculations in if it's also a date. I don't know whether there's a date here. If there was a date, we're going to also have the same thing. Um, the date, you don't put it in inverted comma. You just type the date in the normal format. Right. Now, let's look at the calculations in query. Now, let's say this query 5_3. Now, if the question says we must display number of painting from 200, the criteria is between 200 and let's say 500. That's the criteria we normally use. You say between, if you know the start value and then the end value. Now, if we were to do calculations in queries, you go to empty space, you right click and choose build. Unlike the other part, say build, then you can now see you are familiar with this expression builder. Then you can now do your calculations. Let's say we are increasing the number of painting by 25%. So we said 25 over 100 times number of painting. Then you click OK. So your formula will be here. If I click on run, it's going to give me EXPR1, expression 1. So we need to change this expression 1 into the new calculated field. Don't delete the column. So the new calculation field is increased. So that you can have it. Then they can also ask you to change the format. You go to the format under the properties. You change it to fixed. And then the decimal place. If they want to, then choose 2. Right. Then they can even ask you to put a criteria here also when it is greater than 50. So you must check some of these things. Now, the same way you can do the left if statement and all of them in queries. All that you need to do is you right click, choose build, and then you can use any formula there to calculate your functions. Now, we also have aggregate function. Aggregate function. Let's say ID. This question wants us to put ID that has hashtag. Only the ID that has hashtag. The one without hashtag we shouldn't do. So the criteria there, you say star hashtag star. That means contains hashtag. So it will only display the one with hashtag. Let's check again. All right, that should be the ID. So when it says contains, you put that one. Maybe that hashtag was not typed. That's why it's giving us that problem. Now, I want us to do calculations under the um, what we call calculated field or the aggregate function. Now, for aggregate function, let's say we have this, and then we want to find the average of those who chose against. So maybe we don't need this one. We need only the artist name, and then we need against. We don't need a nationality. We don't need for, and then also this. Now, when you click on totals, this is for aggregate function. You click on totals. Then you see this group by. Now the question says average against value for each name. So you choose average, AVG. So it's going to find average for each. Sometimes watch out for this. There are other functions like first off, last off. You must look at that for that. Now when you run, you see here first off. They can give you a screenshot like this. Watch out for that. First off, AVG off, count off, last off. That means they use a calculated field, aggregate function. Now we move straight to form calculations. You open form in design view. Remember form, we can have form design with action button. Let's say action button to close a form so that the button will be there. Watch out for that type of question, whether header or footer. And then they can also put validation rule. Let's say insurance value. When you right click and choose properties, then you go to data, you will see validation rule, you will see input mask. Let's say that you also see default value. Let's say the validation will be between 500 and 3,000. And validation text also. You can put them there. Right. They can also give you conditional formatting. When you select conditional formatting, you can get it under format. If you don't know where to find it, you can just go to tell me what to do and type conditional formatting. You will see it. Then you can choose new rule and then you apply your rule. Let's say field value is equals to maybe 100 and it should fill with a color. So only the one, so when you click close form, it's going to close for you. Right. Now let's do calculations in a form. It can be done in any way, whether the footer, here or on top. Now, if we are to put a calculation here, we choose this one, which is the text box, and you draw the text box. Let's say we want to calculate 15% VAT of the insurance value. You right click and then you will see build event. Then you double click on expression builder. Then you will now see your expression builder, which is familiar to you in table and then query. 15 over 100 times insurance value. Now, one complication about this one is that you need to select and copy. Unlike the query and then the table, here you must copy by using Control C. And then you click OK. You come here and they say equals to, then you Control V. Then you can now have these calculations here. So that's how we do calculations in a form. You see it here. Now, finally, we move straight to report. Regarding the report, calculations, grouping. Now, when they say grouping, you tell me what to do, then you go to group and sort if it is not there. Then watch out for this. When it's group, you must watch out for this. You go to more. We have grouping by, because this one is the year born, say by year or by month, that's the date. We can have also with no totals. That is the one we use to do calculations with no totals. Let's say we want to calculate the average against value. Then the type of the function is average. Then you take show subtotal in footer. If the question says for each, now you see the calculation here. Sometimes they can tell you to also be for all of them. You can just copy this and then you come and put it also in the group footer. No, the report footer, you paste. So there are two calculations here. Average for all, and this is average for only the grouping. The same way, they can tell you other functions like if statement and others, then you need to use this text box, just like the way we did. You right click, build event, expression builder, and then you do your calculation. So basically the report calculation and the form is similar here. The only difference is that if they are asking for the function like average, count, sum, and others, then you must use the group and then you can now insert it. So I think that is all about the database. That's all about database. Um, Now, any other question? Somebody is saying null and then it's not null. Null and then it's not null. Null means it's empty. Not null means it is not empty. Right. As for the last part, the null means it's empty for query. Not null means it's not empty. So you just put null. Null means empty space. Not null means it's not empty. Right. So that is all about database. Now let's move straight to, we are wrapping up with HTML. HTML, you can watch the other videos, like I said here. HTML, because of the time factor, we might not have enough time, but I'll share the video with you. All that you need to know: HTML 15 marks, background color, BG color, horizontal line, images, then hyperlink, multi-level list, table call span, and row span. I discussed it in our last video, so you can also watch it. And basic text for HTML. Because of the time factor, I want you to have more time to watch the video and practice. So HTML, we might not be able to. Not null means not empty. Null means what? Empty. So how do you insert picture in database? Um, to insert picture, where are you referring to? If you are to insert picture in database, if you are to insert picture in database form, now background picture, you just go to format background picture. Now, if you are to insert only picture on top here, you go to form design, insert image, then you insert the image, then you draw it. Then the image, you must make sure that it is stretched to fill in. They can ask you questions to change the width and then the height of the image also, and then the border around the image. Right, now to insert a picture in a table, that one should be, let's say, picture. The picture. Let's say we change this one of them to, let's say, picture. And then you might change the picture. Yeah, here, photo is here. OLE object. Now, when you go to that photo and you are to insert that picture, you right click and say insert object. Then you go to create new or create from file. And then you choose browse. Then you go and select your picture that you want. And then okay. So it will be saying package. You only see this picture when you open it in a form. So that is how we insert picture also in database table. Yeah, table call span and then the row span in HTML. I think that will be the last thing, then we end here. So I have HTML, that is Notepad++. Right. Now when you are doing table, we use the tag called table, and then the table has calls cell spacing. Let's say the spacing is 5. Cell padding equals to, let's say, 3 or 6. And then border equals 8. Then when you are creating table, we use TR, table row. So TR, and each item in the table, we have TH for table head and then TD for table data cell. So let's say TH, then I have cat. I close my TH. Then I close the TR. Right. Now, if I want to open the second row, TR, then maybe the next one is TD, which is table data. And then the table data will be paper 1. You close your TD. And then another one, table data, paper 2. You close your TD. Now, then I close this TR. Now look here. You can see that the first TR, let me save it for you to see properly. I want to save it as new dot, let's say table dot HTML. Now you can see the first TR. I close my table. The first TR is only for cat. The second TR has 2 columns, table data. So if I go and show you table 2, so you can see here, instead of, let me make the table, the width equals to 100%. to cover the entire page. Good. Now you can see the first one here, I have only one column. The second row has two columns. So I want to merge these two columns together to cover CAD. So in my TH here for CAD, I will say call span equals to 2. Why call span equals to 2? Look here. I'm combining two columns. So call span equals to 2. Now, if I go back, now you can see it has merged the two columns together. Now, if I wanted to merge these rows, we use the row span. Now, there should be two rows that we are combining. So if I say row span, row span equals to 2. That means I'm combining these two rows together. Two rows put together. Right, the first one and then the second one. So meaning the cat value here is now combining these two rows. It's covering this its own row and then the second row also. Right, so row span is you are combining rows, and then the call span you are combining column. So if I want to say row span equals to 3, that means I must have the third row here. I must have the third row. And then I have my TD, something type, TD again. Then I close my TR. So there are 3 rows. If I don't say row span equals to 3, I'm going to have problem with it. There we go, you see. This one has combined 2 rows, and then this one is on its own. So for me to fix it properly, I might say row span equals to 3 because there are 3 rows, 1, 2, and 3. So I say row span equals to 3. There we go. So now this cat here has covered 3 different rows. So take note, row span, check the number of rows you are combining. Call span, check the number of TDs that you are combining. So you can say when I say call span equals to 2, that means there are only 2 table data cells, which is the columns. That is why I say call span equals to 2. Right. Now, if there's no question, then we can bring our lessons live stream to an end. Somebody say, which past paper should you practice? Please, you can try your hands on all the past papers or the one that I've given to you. That one contains all of them. Like, for instance, when you go to, when you are dealing with spreadsheet, go here. All these spreadsheet questions here were combined. The questions are here. Spreadsheet feature and all of them. All these were combined. So it depends on the topic that you want to do, HTML, the previous papers. If you want to do prep questions, here are the prep questions. Past grade 12 papers, you will see prelims. It has all the different prelims, 2022, 2024, and others, 2023 from different national. You see all the DBE papers. The H here is also there. I shared. So depending, but here I've combined like spreadsheet, I've combined from different sources that you can also make use of them. But be guided by this one that I shared with you, which I'm going to send again. Be guided by this study check. Then you know which topic you are facing challenges and how are you going to approach them. Right. Thank you for your precious time tonight. And then you can watch the videos again. Thank you everyone for joining me. I wish you all the best tomorrow. And then I'll break them down tonight and then send them to you also so that it doesn't become very long. Thank you so much. Good night.